Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing about cell proliferation assay using flow cytometry. The cell proliferation assay is actually used to look at how rapidly cells divide and what proportion of the cells actually is moving into different generations after successive divisions. So let us start with the fundamental principle of cell proliferation assay. The cell proliferation assay is used to study the fraction of cells which are undergoing cell division at any given time. So suppose there is a cell which is dividing 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8. So whether this process is very smooth, and if it is being affected by any drug or any condition, like if there is any drug that can hamper the proliferation process, that process can be studied with the help of the proliferation assay. So this helps researchers to study the effect of modulators or regulatory processes on cell proliferation. Now, the basic principle of proliferation assay is that if we are able to label a cell with fluorophore at time t, and if that fluorophore remains inside the cell for long time after several generations, then the reduction in fluorescence could be noted. Because when cells will divide after a certain generations, then the amount of fluorophore will reduce and the fluorescence will decrease. And if we can quantify that fluorescence with the help of any technique, particularly by flow cytometry, then we can differentiate that how many cells have crossed specific generations. So this is the underlying principle. हम अगर एक सेल को किसी फ्लोरोफोर से लेबल कर दें और जब वो उसके बाद डिवाइड होगी तो वो फ्लोरेसेंस धीरे धीरे उसकी कम होती चली जाएगी और उन अलग अलग फ्लोरेसेंस वाली सेल्स को हम फ्लो साइटोमेट्री की मदद से एस्टिमेट कर लें कि ज़्यादा फ्लोरेसेंस वाली कितनी सेल हैं, कम फ्लोरेसेंस वाली कितनी सेल हैं और उससे कम फ्लोरेसेंस वाली कितनी सेल हैं, तो इस बात का अंदाज़ा हम लगा सकते हैं कि सेल्स ने कितनी जनरेशन्स क्रॉस की और एक गिवन पॉपुलेशन में कितने प्रोलिफरेशंस हुए होंगे. Now, one important criteria or one important thing that is required for the proliferation assay is a dye. मतलब हमें एक ऐसी डाई चाहिए जो कि सेल के अंदर परसिस्ट कर सके और इस ऐसे में मदद कर सके. There are important properties of this dye. Three important properties. First property is it should be bright enough. ये इतनी bright होनी चाहिए कि सेल डिविजन्स होने के बाद, सक्सेसिव सेल डिविजन्स होने के बाद इसकी ब्राइटनेस लूज ना हो. So it should not lose its brightness after successive cell divisions. Second, it should not affect the growth of cell because we are using it on a live cell and we want to look at the replication of cells or division of cells. So it should not hamper in any way the division of cell. So it should be a kind of vital stain for the cell. Third important point, that the dye which we can use for proliferation assay should actually be capable of crossing plasma membrane, and it should be therefore staying inside the cell, because if we use superficial stain, then it might be lost during the process of analysis, and after successive generation superficial stain may be washed away or lost in the media. Therefore, we need a molecule, we need a dye which goes inside the cell and stays inside the cell for longer period of time. And luckily, we have one such dye which is used by researchers, and that's known as CFSC, carboxyfluorescein succinamide ester, which qualifies almost all these criteria. This can stay in the cell. This fluoresces somewhere between the 500 to 600 nanometer. It fluoresces green in color. It permeates into the cell and it can stay inside the cell for a longer time. It is brighter than most of the other known stains. So these are the fundamentals of cell proliferation assay. Let's now look how does it work. So suppose we have an unlabeled cell, and this unlabeled cell is at generation 0. Let's say we have just started the cell culture, and in that cell culture we have plenty of cells which are unlabeled. Now we used CFSC dye and added that CFSC dye to stain existing cells at generation 0. So what will happen? The cell will become stained and it will start showing fluorescence. We should also remember that at this point of time, there will be highest fluorescence present in the cell because we have infused a large amount of fluorescent dye. You can count the number of stars which may be analogous to number of fluorophore molecules that have entered into the cell. तो हम यहाँ कह सकते हैं कि अभी एट प्रेजेंट 8 फ्लोरोफोर मॉलिक्यूल एक सेल के अंदर गए जो कि एक फ्लोरेसेंस दिखा रहे हैं, विच इज द हाईएस्ट पॉसिबल फ्लोरेसेंस इनसाइड ए सेल। अब क्या होगा जब ये सेल डिवाइड होगी, when this cell will divide, then one cell will split into two in first generation. So as you can see, if there were 8 stars or 8 fluorophore molecules during the division, they equally partitioned into 2 cells. Now we have 4 fluorophore molecules here and 4 fluorophore molecules here. So you can say in generation 1, the fluorescence will be reduced to half compared to original generation 0. Similarly, if you go ahead, if we talk about generation 2, in that situation, further reduction in fluorescence will be observed because now half the number of fluorescent molecules will move into each of these daughter cells. तो आप यहाँ कह सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर फ्लोरेसेंस कितनी हो जाएगी ओरिजिनल का, ये 1/4 रह जाएगी, जबकि यहाँ पर हाफ थी और यहाँ आप कह सकते हैं कि 100% थी। फाइनली अगर एक और जनरेशन की बात करें, सो वी कैन स्टिल हैव वन मोर जनरेशन वेयर यू कैन से द फ्लोरेसेंस विल बी रिड्यूस्ड to 1/8 of original. And this was simple analogy. I didn't mean to say that there will be only 8 fluorophores. There will be millions of fluorophore molecules that can enter into cell. So depending on how bright a fluorophore is and what is the detection limit of analyzing instruments, we can go up to at least 8 generations with this CFSC dye. So we can study 8 different generations with the help of CFSC dye, which is provided by manufacturers. So that's the degree of brightness. So now I think it is clear to you. इतनी बात आपको क्लियर है कि किस तरह से जब सेल्स डिवाइड होगी और अगर हमने उसको इनिशियल स्टेज में CFSC से स्टेन कर दिया, तो उसके बाद जैसे जैसे वो जनरेशंस क्रॉस करेगी वैसे वैसे उसकी फ्लोरेसेंस कम होती चली जाएगी. Now how to analyze this? How does data appear? फ्लो साइटोमेट्री को कैसे यूज करते हैं हम इस चीज को एनालाइज करने के लिए? लेट्स लुक इनटू दैट. So we have the same way. I mean, we had unlabeled cell. Now if you allow these cells to pass through flow cytometer and you analyze the data by plotting a graph between cell count and fluorescence, so you can say in generation 0, when there was highest fluorescence, if these cells will pass through laser or they will pass through in flow cytometer, the kind of histogram that we will develop will be showing a very high fluorescence value because it is on extreme right. आप देख रहे हैं ये extreme right में है जहाँ fluorescence की median value बहुत ज़्यादा है. तो आप कह सकते हैं कि generation 0 में जो cells होंगी उनका जो fluorescence है वो सबसे ज़्यादा होगा. अगर हम अगली generation की बात करें, so if we talk about next generation, obviously we talked earlier कि इनकी जो fluorescence है वो थोड़ी कम हो जाएगी. तो आप कह सकते हैं कि थोड़ी कम होने पर जो नया ग्राफ आएगा इस फर्स्ट जनरेशन वाली सेल्स का, that will be represented by this kind of graph which is slightly behind or in the left hand side compared to the original graph. So this is representing first generation. Now when further we talk about second generation cells, they will still have lesser fluorescence. इनका ग्राफ और इधर आएगा, तो ये आप कह सकते हैं ये second generation का ग्राफ है. If we have third generation cells, they will have even lower fluorescence. So third generation graph will be further on this side. So you can say as many as generations are present in your cell culture, you will get different type of peaks adjacent to each other, which will be differing by a margin of around 0.5. Means each time a new peak is observed on the left hand side, that will represent half of the original fluorescence. ओके यानी कि आप ये कह सकते हैं इस ग्रीन वाले ग्राफ के कंपैरिजन में इस ग्राफ की फ्लोरेसेंस हाफ है. ये जो डिस्टेंस है, दिस इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग 50% ऑफ दिस. then further 50% reduction, then further 50% reduction. So if you keep on moving to new and new generations, you will have more and more peaks which are representing each and every generation. तो जितनी जनरेशन आप एनालाइज कर रहे हो उतने आपको ग्राफ्स मिलेंगे और ये एक साथ प्रेजेंट हो सकता है. सपोज मैंने आज सेल कल्चर स्टार्ट किया और उसमें हजारों सेल्स थी एक प्लेट के अंदर. नाउ आई अलाउड देम टू ग्रो फॉर लेट्स से 5 days. सो आफ्टर 5 days इफ आई डिड दिस एनालिसिस, 5 दिन के बाद मैंने इसका एनालिसिस किया और मैंने इस स्टेज में CFSC ऐड कर दिया था 0 डे पे. तो जब मैंने 0 डे पे CFSC ऐड कर दिया था तो सारी सेल्स उस टाइम पे स्टेन्ड होंगी. राइट। और उसके बाद जब 5 दिन बाद मैं एनालाइज कर रहा हूँ तो अब यहाँ पर कुछ सेल्स एक जनरेशन क्रॉस कर चुकी होंगी, कुछ सेकंड जनरेशन की सेल होंगी, कुछ थर्ड जनरेशन की सेल होंगी। तो ये अब डिपेंड करेगा कि कितनी सेल्स जो हैं वो कितनी जनरेशन्स क्रॉस कर चुकी हैं। सो द हाइट ऑफ दिस ग्राफ, मतलब ये जो हाइट है इस हर एक पीक की, ये हमको ये बता रही है कि किस जनरेशन में कितनी सेल्स प्रेजेंट हैं। Means if this peak is highest, means the highest number was in generation 0, and if this peak is highest, इसका मतलब generation 1, generation 2 और generation 3 में third generation वाली जो cells हैं उनका number culture में सबसे ज़्यादा है. So this is the kind of graph that we obtain during the cell proliferation assay. Let's now look into understanding of this data. कैसे इसको comprehend करते हैं, कैसे analyze करते हैं, उसकी हम बात करते हैं. So let's say we have again the same experiment. हमने एक cell culture लिया और 5 दिन उसको culture किया and we obtained this kind of data where first peak is representing G0, that means it is representing generation 0, and these subsequent peaks may be representing generation 1, generation 2 and generation 3. Now I had another culture. मान लो मेरे पास एक और culture था, उसमें मैंने एक drug ऐड किया और जिसमें मैंने ड्रग ऐड किया था उसको 5 दिन बाद जब मैंने एनालाइज किया तो मुझे कुछ ऐसा ग्राफ मिला. नाउ व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस दैट यू नोटेड हियर? यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हैं कि इस तरह से जो ये पीक्स हैं, सी पीक ऑफ जनरेशन 1 यहाँ पर कम हाइट की है, 2 थोड़ी ज़्यादा हाइट की है, 3 और ज़्यादा हाइट की है, जबकि यहाँ पर आप देखोगे तो पीक्स की हाइट में डिक्लाइन हो रहा है. इट मीन्स व्हाट? इट मीन्स द सेल्स डिवाइडेड, दे प्रोलिफरेटेड, वो प्रोलिफरेट भी हुई, they underwent first generation, second generation and third generation, but compared to the control situation, compared to no drug or without drug condition, इस कंडीशन में पहली जनरेशन के मुकाबले दूसरी जनरेशन में कम सेल गई, तीसरी में और कम गई. Means at every step the drug might be causing some kind of inhibition for proliferation. So after each successive generation the number of cells is decreasing. Now if you look at more extreme case, maybe we added another drug and we got this kind of graph. So what do you mean by this kind of graph? यहाँ पर केवल जनरेशन 1 की पीक आई आपको, जनरेशन 2 की कोई पीक ही नहीं मिली, जनरेशन 3 वाली भी कोई पीक नहीं मिली. So if you don't have any more peaks here, means it caused inhibition at this level. फर्स्ट जनरेशन के बाद इसने इतना इनहिबिशन किया इस ड्रग ने कि वो थर्ड जनरेशन तक सेकंड जनरेशन तक सेल्स जा ही नहीं पाई. सो इट वाज मच एक्सट्रीम केस ऑफ इनहिबिशन. एंड फर्दर इवन एक्सट्रीम केस, इफ यू हैड अ पीक ऑफ ओनली ओरिजिनल जनरेशन, आपको दूसरी पीक आई ही नहीं यहाँ पर, देयर वाज नो एनी अदर पीक, दैट मीन्स it did not allow the cells to proliferate at all. So this can also happen not only by drug. If you knock out a specific gene which is required for cell proliferation, if you are looking at the function of a specific gene during the cell proliferation, they can be studied, and if you get this kind of graph, that means that particular drug or that particular gene is responsible for preventing or inhibiting cell proliferation. Similarly, if we look at opposite case, so we can say that if by addition of the drug this type of graph turned into this type of graph. So this is without drug, this graph is without drug, or you can say this is control, and this graph is representing a graph with drug. Now what differences do you observe? You observe that in this case the peak of generation 1, generation 2 are shorter than control, but you have very high peak of generation 3 compared to control. It means compared to the control, the agent that you added or drug that you added is actually promoting the cell proliferation. ये क्या कर रहा है? Cell proliferation को promote कर रहा है, because if it is promoting, only then you are getting large number of cells in the third generation. Otherwise, you will not have observed high number of cells in third generation. So I just represented this in an oversimplified manner. We can have more generations, like up to 8 generations, as I have mentioned, can be studied by CFSC, and you can have more complex scenarios like time-dependent experiment, where you can also look at the analysis of rate of proliferation or cell division. So this was the overview of CFSC based cell proliferation assay by flow cytometry. Thank you very much.